Hi guys, this is part 2 of the chapter 3 of Mushoku tensei. I hope you guys are liking it, and let's get started. And here is the emotional epic music. This chapter is where things really get started, so good luck, I guess, for me. In any case, I began trying out the simplest music. The guidebook contained methods for both incantation and music formation, but since incantation's the norm and there's no place for me to draw magic arrays, I started with incantation. It seems the more complicated a spell was, the longer the incantation would be. In fact, extremely complicated spells had to be chanted in conjugation with magic arrays. That's not a problem in the beginning, however. It seems a skilled magician can use magic without incantation, voiceless incantation, or reducing the chant, something like that. But why is that a skilled person didn't need incantation? The amount of mana required to cast the technique doesn't change, and even if you level up, your MP that won't increase either. Or was it the more skilled you are, the less mana you'd use? No. Even if that does decrease one's mana usage, there's no reason to skip steps. Whatever, let's try it out first. I hold the guidebook in my left hand, stretched out my right, and read out the words. Bestow the protection of water on the place the immense. Let dying crystal clear flow here. Water ball. Felt the sensation of blood gas gathering in my right hand. My blood feels as if it's been squeezed out, and a water ball the size of a fist appeared in the front of my right hand. The moment I showed amusement, the water ball fell onto the floor, dampening it. The book said the water ball should have shot out, but it had fallen instead. Perhaps my concentration has been broken, causing the spell to fail. Concentrate, concentrate. The sensation of blood gathering in my right hand is failing. I once again raised my right hand, recalled the feeling from before, imagining it in my mind. I don't know how much mana I have, but it's best not to think that I can do this many times. Concentrate, and let every attempt be successful. First, I had to imagine it, then repeat it over and over in my mind, then cast it in reality. If it ended in failure, I will imagine it again in my mind until I can do it perfectly in my head. That was how I practiced every move in a fighting game in the past. Because of that, I didn't really fail when I tried to execute a combo. I should have no problem if I practiced using this method. I hope. Breathe. A deep breath. I send the blood flowing from my toes and top of my head into my right hand, using the feeling to gather power, and then having the feeling of firing out of my palm, carefully, with every heartbeat gathering it bit by bit. Water ball. Water ball's pantyhose. Evil thoughts were mixed into it. One more time. Concentrate. Squeeze out water. I unconsciously sounded like a monk, and the water ball came out. Huh? The moment I showed surprise, the water ball fell way too quickly. I didn't just chant, right? What I did was to recall the feeling of using that spell and imitating it in my mind. But can it be that just redoing the flow of magic made the incantation unnecessary? Was voiceless incantation that simple? Wasn't it supposed to be an upper class technique? If it's that easy to succeed, what's the use of incantation? Even Noah like me can use magic. Can use voiceless magic, concentrating the mana in my fingertips and determining the shape in my mind. That was basically it. In that case, incantation was completely unnecessary. Everyone is just doing this instead. Can it be that incantation is the activation of magic? There is no need to replicate the feeling of gathering blood. I can just complete it. If I let out my voice, it might be something like that. It's just like an automatic car. One can actually change it to manual and it will still work. Incantation will automatically cast magic. There will be several advantages to using incantation. Firstly, it's easy. Instead of explaining it as gathering the blood from the blood vessels in my body, everyone can just recite it and succeed instead. Both teachers and students will have an easier time. And after teaching this over and over, it becomes incantation is quintessential. Secondly, it's convenient to use. Needless to say, attack magics meant to be used in combat. Instead of closing your eyes and going while concentrating, it's faster to recite it quickly. It's a question of which is easier, to run with all your strength while drawing a clear picture, or to run with all one's strength while chanting. It must be different for various people. Maybe there are those who would find it easier with the former. I quickly flipped through the magic textbook, but I found nothing on voiceless incantation. That's weird. Based on my experience, it wasn't that hard. Maybe it's a special talent I have, but others can't use it at all. Maybe I can use it. Maybe I can think of it this way. A magician typically starts out as a beginner and ends up as a veteran, and everyone uses the incantation methods to cast. After thousands of times, their body would be used to incantation, and when it comes to voiceless incantation, they didn't know what to do. Therefore, as it's not disaccentuated, it's not recorded in the guidebook. Wow, that explains it. Then that means I'm not an ordinary person. That's amazing, right? It's like I'm using a tip sheet. They've used a crime catalyst without singing the oratorio, but all I did was use this kind of a catalyst, like normal, and open the gate. That kind of feeling. Whoa, I'm getting excited. No. Calm down. The past me was deceived about this feeling. Because I'm better at using the computer than an average person, I got the feeling that I was some kind of chosen one. I became greedy and eventually ended up failing. I have to be humble. The most important thing is not to treat myself as some kind of someone superior to others. A novice. Okay, a novice with beginner's luck and managed to hit the bowling pin with a strike. I just have beginner's luck. I don't think I'm a talented person with talent. I should work hard on this. Good. I needed to first rely on the chant to use a spell. Then based on the feelings I experienced while casting, I could practice voiceless incantation repeatedly. I would just use that formula to learn. Okay. Then let's do it again. But when I stretched out my right hand, I felt strangely sluggish. It's as if there's something heavy on my shoulders. The feeling of fatigue. Is it because I'm concentrating too hard? No. I should be at least considered a pro at internet gaming. Self-proclaimed, of course. I'm a man who could continue hunting for 6 full days without sleeping if I needed to. My concentration was managed from just 2 attempts. This is to say, my MP dissipated. Goodness! If they say the mana amount is decided by birth, at birth my mana is only enough to fire 2 water balls? Water bullets? That's just too little, right? Or is it because I'm a beginner? My efficiency of using mana properly is really low. No, how can that be? To be safe, I tried firing off the spell one more time, but in the end I fainted. 5-4. Oh really, Rudius, if you're sleeping, just go to the toilet and then go to sleep on the bed. When I woke up, I was treated as if I had fallen asleep when reading the book. I didn't wet the floor. Damn. I got scolded for wetting the floor, even when I'm so old. Damn it. I'm only day 2, right? Wetting the bed is still forgivable, but seriously, isn't my mana too little? Huh? This makes me feel really powerless. Well, even if it's 2 war balls, the next thing is how to use it. In any case, I can practice to the point where I can fire it right away. The next day I was fine even after firing 4 war balls. I only felt tired after the 5th shot. Huh? Based on my experience, I know I'd faint if I fired another shot, and I decided to stop, so I began to think. My current maximum 6 shots, that's 2 times more than yesterday. I looked at the barrels worth of 5 war bullets and wondered the reason why the number of shots increased by 2 from yesterday till today. Was it because I was already tired yesterday, or was it because I consumed more mana yesterday? I'm casting them all through warless incitation, but there shouldn't be any difference between the 2 methods. I don't get it. Maybe the number will continue to increase. It's the next day. The number of war bullets I could create had increased 11 times. Feels like it increased the number if I fire with the number of shots I actually fire. My theory is true. By tomorrow I should be able to use the spell 21 times. Another day passed. To confirm my guess, I casted the spell 5 times. And stopped. Another day passed and my limit became 26 times. My limit really is the same as the number of times I had to cast the spell. You're actually bluffing me, right? What do you mean a person's total mana is decided at birth? Your determining talent, an intangible thing you can't even see with your own eyes. A child's potential isn't what an adult can determine. Well, it also means that I can't just blindly trust something from book. This book probably saying something like human happiness has a limit, that kind of thing. Or was it referring to the result of training? Does it mean that after rigorous training there is a mana cap? No, it's still too early to draw a conclusion. That is still a hypothesis, something like, like it's based on how much you can grow or something. When casting magic during infancy, the maximum value will increase exponentially or something like that. I can't ignore the probability that maybe it's due to my special body now. It's not good to treat myself as special. In my ordinary world, it's said that athletic ability does increase exponentially during puberty. But the problem was that after puberty, no matter how hard one tries, there's not much progress. Even in this world, for something like magic, a human's body's structure shouldn't be any different. It's basically the same. And there's only one thing to do. Train as hard as possible before puberty hits. On the next day onwards, I dissipated my mana to the fullest every day. At the same time, the number of spells I could use increased as long as I could remember the feeling. It's easy to use voiceless incitation. Anyways, my short-term targets to completely master elementary magic. Elementary magic is just the term implied, just as the term implies. It had the lowest rank among all attack magic. Water and fire bullets are considered the basic even among the elementary spells. There are 7 different difficulty ranks to master: elementary, intermediate, advanced, saint, king, emperor, and god. I read that an ordinary educated magician can improve his specialized magic up to advanced rank, while the typical uneducated is able to cast elementary to intermediate ranked spells. If we're going by the rank beyond advanced, based on this system, there's those called fire saint, water saint can be considered to be one of the kind. That was saint rank. I'm yearning for that though. But that magic guidebook only has fire, water, wind, and earth systems up to the advanced rank. Where can I learn spells ranked saint and the above? Now, it's better not to think too far ahead. It's a scene, too, for RPG makers. If one starts out by creating the strongest monster, there's a chance of being dejected. One should start from the slime. Though, I didn't even finish the slime even though I started on it. Part 8. Now, the book contained the following elementary war spells. Water bullet that can be shot. Water ball. Water shield, water that rises from the ground to form a wall. Water shield. Water arrow, a 20 centimeter dart that's fired. That's water arrow. Ice strike. Creates a column of ice to smite an enemy. Ice smash. Ice weapon. Forms a sword of ice. Ice blade. I tried everything. Even though each spell was elementary, the amount of mana it requires to cast them varies. Using the water bullet as a standard, a single cast expends 2 to 20 water bullets worth of mana based on the spell. Basically, I practiced only water ball magic. It would have been a problem if I tried the fire and caused a disaster. Speaking of fire, it seems the amount of mana used is correlated to the temperature. The higher the rank, the colder the ice got. When the book said certain spells should fly out of my hand, whether it be water bullet or water arrow, I could never get them to work properly, but I'm unable to shoot anything. Whether it's the water bullet or the water arrow, even though the book told me so. Why is that so? Where have I gone wrong? I don't get it. The book had said something about a spell's speed and size. Can it be that after casting the bullet, I still need to control it using magic? Let's try it out then. Oh, the water bullet became bigger. Oh, bloop. Oh. But it still fell onto the floor. After that, I tried various means to change the ball bullet speed. I cast 2 different bullets at the same time. I changed the size of the bullets at the same time, but even though it's a new discovery now, the bullets seem like flying forward. Fire and wind aren't affected by gravity and can float in the air. In the end, though, they would still disappear after a certain amount of time. I tried using the wind to shoot a floating fireball, but it felt wrong somewhere. 2 months later, at the end of all mistakes, I finally succeeded in making water bullet fly. By now, I've gotten a basic understanding of the concept behind incantation. There are certain steps to incantation. First, creation, and then setting of the size, setting of the water speed, activation finally. Within this, the magic spell is done once the user determines the size and speed, which means after the chant 1, the spell automatically takes shape. 2, after that, within this fixed time frame, increase the mana input to adjust the size. After the size adjustment, during a fixed time frame with extra mana input, was the adjustment of speed setting. Once preparation period is over, the magic spell leaves the caster's hand and automatically flies towards its target. That's the sequence of the entire thing. This is most probably correct, I think. The trick is that after chanting, I need to add more mana twice. If there is no adjustment to the size, the firing speed adjustment won't occur. It's no wonder that when I try to fire the bullet, the only thing that happens was that size changes, nothing else. And to add on, when I'm using voiceless incantation, I have to process all of these by myself. Even though it's a hassle, I can reduce the time needed to change the size and firing speed. It's possible to be several times faster than an incantation. Also, Modifications can be done during this creation phase of the voiceless instantation. For example, what the book didn't record was how to freeze a water bullet to create ice bullet. If I practice this, I might be able to use the Kaiser Phoenix attack. My face is full of pride. What different ideas I can create, a variety of effects. This is becoming interesting. But the basics are definitely important. I'll have to wait until my overall mana increases before experimentation. Increase my mana capacity, and 2. Use voiceless incitation as easy as my breathing. There are 2 assignments. It's easy to have setbacks. If I suddenly have large goals, it's best to start off with something small. Alright, time to work hard, and so I keep practicing elementary magic until I nearly fainted. And that's the end, guys. It's just, it's still somewhat basics. We learned more about magic and mana and its usage and stuff like that. And then we are going to learn about his instructor later on. I think the first volume itself is basically introduction to the whole story, the characters, the setting. All of these are being set up, so it's not going to be as interesting. But the first time you see the twist, that's when it gets down. I mean, seriously, it's going to be really exciting when we get there. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye and subscribe.